Okay, I'm going to show you how to build a simple agent in just 10 minutes, maybe, we'll see, inside WordWare. And so we'll call this a simple, if we can type, agent. And it's going to implement a ReAct agent to solve maths problems. Cool. So, what is an agent? An agent is something is a AI powered, generally language model powered thing that can autonomously decide what to do and go ahead and do it. So it's powered by language models, so things like ChatGPT under the hood, except that it's able to utilize tools and make its own decision making to kind of solve a harder task that you can get straight out of ChatGPT. And so the kind of agent we're going to build is called a ReAct agent. Now, ReAct agent has a thought, action, input, and observation loop. So what that means is it'll have a think about what to do next. It will decide on an action to take from a set of specified actions it's allowed to take. It will do one of those actions. It'll add the input to that action, and then it'll actually do one of those actions. And so let's give this a go. So we're going to call it so simple agent to solve math problems. Yeah. So you are a math problem solving agent. You utilize tools to help you answer maths questions. You can use the following tools. Tools. Cool. And so let's give the first tool can be run code. This is a JavaScript code interpreter that can execute the given code. It will return the it will return anything you output as a return statement. And we'll also allow it to search Google. This allows you. We'll say the input is a valid JS code surrounded by backticks. Allows you to search Google. The input is just the Google query. Cool. And then let's go another one. Let's go rules. And so you should follow the following structure. And now we can look at the paper, and the paper will give you this format. And so we're just going to copy and paste that to save me typing out a whole load of stuff. But effectively, and we can call it, you should use the following format. So the question is this input question you must answer. The thought is what you should always think about what to do in one sentence. The action is the action to take. It should be Google or Google search or run code. and the input is the input to the action, and the observation is the result of the action. And then that can repeat n times, and then we get a final answer. And then, so we go another one, and we go process. And so we put in the question, and that comes from the user. And then we need a loop. So we can do that with wordware. And let's, for now, loop 10 times as a max. I call this the ReAct loop. And so inside this loop, we're going to have thought. And then we're going to need to have a think. Then we're going to need action. And that's going to be action. And then we're going to create an input to that action. And that's going to be input. And then we need to actually do something. So we need to decide what the action was. So we need to reference the action. And we need to decide if it was run code. We also have another choice that the action could be, let's add an if statement. The action could be Google search. And we should also have an else statement, so it's neither of those actions. And so then if it's run code, we're going to call a prompt that I made earlier to actually run the code. And this is just a little simple thing to run the code. And the input here is the input. And then what we need to output is, so we'll call this observation. Logs, and we can output the logs. And then output can be, let's make these bold as well, so it's clear that they're separate. Logs, output, here's the code. Cool. Actually, yeah, that'll do. And then in the else if, we can run another prompt that also just runs a Google search. And that's also going to take the input. And that'll just, then we need to put the output, which should be there. And then else, we need to tell the model that it was wrong. So we should say that the action is not a valid action. You should only Google and run code. Cool. And then the final thing is we'll output a final answer. Cool. Let's call it final. So what we need to do is we need to also decide what these things should be. So this should be a GPT-4 and it should be full. An input should also be GPT-4, but we will, and I guess that can be full, or that can be custom. We should get it to stop at, if it starts outputting the observation, then it should stop. The action should just be short, and that will stop at the space. Did we make this GPT-4? We did. The thought should be a sentence. Cool. And now let's run this. What is 999 to the power of 5? And here we go. It's decided that there's a mathematical operation that can be solved using the wrong code. The input is math.pow 995, and it says that they're running the code, and that's because it has put it in brackets, so it's going to go in a nice little error loop, so we need to fix that. Let's make sure it actually puts it in triple backticks. And then we'll run this again. Just refresh to make sure it starts from 0. And here we go. So it's worked out that it can write some math code. It's then run that math code. We got a legal return statement. Why do we get a legal return statement? I guess because it added these stars. Cool. So that's another thing we found. So this input needs to stop at star as well. Cool. And then we'll start from scratch again. Always best to refresh. Did not like that. Cool. So we have not quite written an agent. Let's see what we have here. Maybe not here. So we have this ReAct agent that I made earlier. What do we say? Let's update the way that we describe this and make run code separate from the, like have giggle search separate too. Then we'll try that and see what happens. Cool, it's then deciding to run code. There we go, okay. So we got the answer. And that is going to loop 10 times because it decides that it's done. And then it'll output the final answer. Huzzah.